Welcome back. We've got our 33rd episode finished, and it's a nice sail, and we learned some more about these Baltic states. This time, Latvia and Lithuania. We catch up with Catherine and Gavin, explore coastal towns and capital cities, and even do some beach combing for amber gemstones. We have a sailing channel, but it's more than that. It's a cliche that I've mentioned before, but it's really true for us. The journey is the destination. We spend 1 to 5 days at many places through the season and enjoy every one of these places. We're so lucky to get to live this life and really enjoy sharing the stories of the things that we see and we learn. So here goes, Lithuania and Latvia by boat. And we see some amazing capitals with some tragic history, and a joyous and resilient present and future. Today, we're arriving in Vilnius. A little more detail on the arrival procedure. These guys were great. We asked them as well about the Russian situation, and they confirmed no issues with GPS or marine traffic so far. They did counsel us, however, for the crossing. Be sure to not break down anywhere near them. If the closest asset for a rescue is Russian, they will come, but we might have a difficult time depending on the individuals we encounter, particularly with our American flag vessel. We take this seriously and keep it top of mind as we continue to make our plans to cross Kaliningrad's coast. As usual, Marie manages the paperwork while I keep us on track.
Bye!
Look at those tinker toys. Erosion barriers, designed by a South African engineer, now widely used. We'll check in, pay for our slip on the wall due to our draft, and take a 3-minute walk to a beautiful beach. It's been a great day. Pretty sailing on flat waters and a snug harbor to tuck into. They've been expecting us. Our name is on their whiteboard. Nice. Welcome to Latvia. There's so many beaches on this side of the Baltic Sea. Not so much on the west side. This is similar to the Great Lakes. Lakes Huron and Michigan have great beaches on their eastern shore due to the prevailing westerlies. I wonder if it's the opposite in the southern hemisphere. The next morning, we're off early to visit Latvia's capital, Riga. A beautiful city, old and new, like her sister Baltic capitals. We really enjoy the markets in and around the old Zeppelin hangars. Yep, Zeppelin hangars from the age of the dirigibles. After the First World War ended, Latvia had no need for the German Zeppelin hangars, so dismantled them from their airbase and used the top portion of the hangars to update their historic market. It is right beside the bus station, so it's very convenient for travelers like us. There are 5 hangars, with different items in each, from food to clothing to jewelry. A bit of a sensory extravaganza, sights, sounds, and smells. And the flower market. It wasn't just seafood that we smelled in the market. So many flowers. And beautiful parks. Here we are in Riga. Of the places I ever thought I would visit in the world, I didn't have this one on the list, but I'm sure glad I came. It's a beautiful city. Well worth the trip while we're in the neighborhood. Nice trams, retro. old and new. Here, the Riga Library and some of the Old Town, side by side. And the Black Cat House of Riga. Well, that's one way of showing your frustration to the neighbors who won't let you join their guild. A rather funny story. A beverage in the town square, and then after a long day, we're back on the bus, back to Ventspils. Back to the beach. And we see another relic apparently still in use, the Soviet-era car. This survivor no doubt needed lots of care through its life to still be functional today, as they have a rather poor engineering and build quality reputation. Congrats to the owners. Good on ya. After 3 days at Ventspils, we're off again, sailing to Liepaja, further down the Latvian coast. And out there on the horizon, we spot a friend. It's Gavin and Catherine. We didn't see them in Ventspils, but they're out here, so it's a race. They've got their kite up. We've got a northerly wind today on our southbound journey. Should we put up the Jenniker also? Instead, we pull out our jib. Allows us to stay closer to shore, shortens our journey, versus running with the Jenniker.
Today is August 18th, and we have made a 60-mile run today. Incredibly long day. Pretty tired. Started out with wind on the nose, and then it turned into wind right from behind. And I'm going to guess that you're going to start to have a hard time hearing me. But this is Liepaja, I believe, Latvia. And it is the last port we will be in Latvia. It is known for its wood. That's what we're knowing it for. That's what we are going to associate it with. It smells like sawdust, which is truly an improvement over some of the other smells that some of the other harbors have had. This is the third largest city in Latvia, and it looks like quite an industrial city.
This is a lovely port with laundry on site just a few steps from the boat. Perfect. A few minutes later, Gavin and Catherine tie off, and it's time for a pizza. 3 months since a haircut is starting the show. Goodbye, Latvia, our last port here. By the way, that marina says 2.8 meters on the charts, but right up against the harbor wall there was well over 3 meters. So that was nice. Nothing to worry about with our draft. Here we go. Past a bunch of fishing boats and a bunch of these gray ships with big numbers on them. They don't look military or weapons or anything, but they sure do otherwise. Anyways, here we go. Following Salute. And at 8:30 the next morning, we're off the docks again. We're on our way to Lithuania. That'll be another new country for us. Our 8th country this season. Wow, and it's only August 19th. 8 countries already. Another day with winds from the north, so we're running downwind, southwards. Jenniker or not? Another decision. Let's try wing on wing while we think about it. And it's working great. Running with the wind is calm. We can sail nearly as fast as the wind, so as we're moving with it, we can barely feel any wind at all. So calm. You can see here, we never forget the preventer. It is a safety line to stop accidental jibes. If the wind or the auto helm does a quick, unexpected change, the boom can swing wildly, and that can have deadly consequences. So we have a preventer line harnessing the boom so that it cannot happen. We always have it on. We're entering Klaipeda in Lithuania. New country for us. So far so good. It's been a long day. 55 miles, 18 knots of wind behind us. Ciao! At 6 p.m., nearly 10 hours after casting off our lines in Latvia, we approach Lithuania, at Klaipeda. We get a verbal authorization to enter here. There is no Coast Guard boarding party for Lithuania. Not on this day. VHF clearance is all that we need. New country, new courtesy flag. Welcome to Lithuania. It's a very busy port. Commercial, ferries, and pleasure craft are all here. We head for the river and tie off alongside. That U-shaped area on the right is a moat around the fortress. Unfortunately, it's too shallow for us, but the river is plenty deep enough. Klaipeda, founded in 1252, nearly 800 years ago. Our North American urban history is so short. Klaipeda has many sculptures, intricate wind vanes that are traditional, and many modern artworks as well. We'll see many as we explore the city. After a cup of coffee, of course. This young lady is blowing a kiss to a boy across the harbor, another statue, on the other side of the water. There's a quick guide available that helped us to find many of these sculptures and made for a fun afternoon. And of course, we had to try a few local items for lunch. Delicious, if a little heavy. Speaking of heavy, this ought to hold us, or just about any other vessel. Wow, 125 tons of mooring. The good folks managing the harbor were courteous and flew our flags while we were visiting, both Canadian and US flags. Thanks, guys. We felt welcome. We finished our sculpture tour with this boy and his dog, saying goodnight to the sun. This ghoul had to swim the moat, but we were able to use the bridge, with a little help.
I don't know why you're not out there, Marie, helping move this bridge.
I don't get paid enough.
It's quite a mechanism though, isn't it? I mean,
It's been there 100 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's not new at all.
I don't know how much effort they're putting into rotating the...
Yeah, they don't seem to be working out much of
right.
Steady, go.
Across the harbor is a long spit of land that begins in Russia's Kaliningrad and finishes here in Klaipeda. We take a ferry for about a 10-minute trip, and we see yet another beach. This one with amber.
Amber hunting in Lithuania, looking towards Russia down the coast. A very dramatic skyline today. We found a few small bits.
We enjoy a little dip and some beach combing with a few tiny finds, a few bits of amber. Historically, these sands have been mined for amber, but there is still some worth washing up to this day. We stopped when we got to the women-only section of the beach. We were head down looking at the sand when we stumbled into that area innocently enough. But the clothing optional bit let us know that we'd crossed a line. Back to the family section we go.
Marie, what are you doing?
Searching for amber.
Friend of yours, Amber?
Yes, died 4 million years ago.
Beachcombing for amber is a little hard on the back, but can be rewarding. The following morning, we visited another Baltic capital, Vilnius. It's much younger than Klaipeda, not being founded until 1323. Just a teenager by comparison. It's barely 700 years old. The cathedral basilica was initially built 650 years ago and has been destroyed and rebuilt several times. And underground crypts hold the remains of rulers and bishops. Importantly, today is August 22nd, and they're getting ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 35th anniversary of the Baltic Way protest from 1989. That was the day that 2 million people joined hands across 3 nations, protesting for freedom from Soviet occupation. 650 kilometers of people from this cathedral through Latvia to Tallinn up in Estonia. Amazing. A peaceful protest that worked. Right time, right place, and it paid off. 3 turns on this stone, the end of that 650-mile human chain, brings good luck and a little dizziness. Rehearsals for the concert tomorrow are underway. This one's very formal and includes NATO representation. We are one, the alliance preserving peace and freedom. From Canada to the Baltics, the Mediterranean, a formidable alliance against imperialistic aggression. More beautiful neighborhoods. Never forgetting tragedies of war, Here's Catherine with a very nice McLaren. She's even dressed to match, but unfortunately they didn't give her the keys. A little of the historic fortress, and then to the micro state of Uzupis, nestled into 148 acres, or about 60 hectares, of an artist and squatters neighborhood. Since 1997, when they declared themselves a free and independent republic. They wrote a constitution, assembled an army of 11 men, which has since disbanded. It's not recognized by any foreign governments, yet they have 500 ambassadors worldwide, including an ambassador for hummingbirds, one for whistling in the streets. The Constitution includes certain rights, such as a man has a right to individuality. People have the right to live by the river, while the river has the right to flow past the people. A dog has the right to be a dog. People have the right to be happy, and people also have the right to be unhappy. This is also the first constitution in the world to mention AI, with a statement that any artificial intelligence has the right to believe in the goodwill of humanity. This constitution was even blessed by the Pope Francis in 2018 when he visited Vilnius. I don't want to dwell in the darkness in this building, but nor do I want to ignore it. This is a horrible place. Occupied by the Soviets, then the Gestapo, and then up until 1991 by the KGB. Bad things have happened here. Neighbors recruited to spy on neighbors. Arrests, imprisonments, torture, executions. Horrible. We visited the cells, but I couldn't enter the execution cell. That was beyond me. A huge shadow hangs over this place. And outside, they're supporting their friends in standing up to similar outcomes in Ukraine and Belarus today. And here, speaking to my friends and family who wonder the value of supporting Ukraine. This is why. This is a possible outcome if we don't stop the aggression. Full stop. And if you don't believe, come and see this. Visit these cells. This one, where citizens had to stand on this stone, surrounded by frigid water, for days, naked. How long could you stand here? Members of your family, how long could they stand here? Or this cell, that held up to 30 citizens, or down the hallway to that execution room. Come and see. If you don't want to support Ukraine, I challenge you. Come and see the possible outcomes if we don't stop it. Feel the darkness. You can't escape that darkness here. Gestapo, KGB, and their modern incarnations in several places today. All it takes for evil to prosper is for men and women of goodwill to be silent. And across the street, we see today a celebration. 35 years since freedom was imagined. The flags of Lithuania and Ukraine, side by side in front of this building. Before we leave, we've got a few shots of the Grand Duke of Lithuania from 1326 to 1341. And the fortress, high on a hill in the center of the city. An imposing place to guard the entrance to the hinterlands via the river. Back on the boat the following day, we tune into the celebrations in Vilnius on TV and toast their freedom. Congratulations to these powerful and resilient people. Happy 35th anniversary of freedom. And then Catherine and Gavin are off. They're heading to Sweden and have favorable winds for an overnight passage. We'll stay a couple of more days, waiting on winds to take us south to Poland.
Bye.
A few more sculptures, the final sunset in free Lithuania, and tomorrow morning, we're off to Poland. sailing at least part of the journey through Russia's EEZ. Lots of planning and discussion, but it's still going to be nerve-wracking, that part of our journey. Here we go. But that strategizing, planning, and sailing is for next time, where Marie and I will see you somewhere beyond the sea.